Yo, 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 what it do, everybody? My name is CJ. This is the CJ Curry Show, and it's presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is making daily fantasy sports easy on you. All you got to do is pick 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to 6 of your favorite superstars from your favorite sports. You put them together. You choose if you're going to go more or less on their projections, and you can win up to 25 times your cash in a single day. Guys, if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, make sure you go down to the description of today's video. I've left a handy dandy little link for you to get started on PrizePicks. Your first deposit all the way up to $100 is matched instantly, making your first entry on PrizePicks risk-free. Who doesn't like a free bet? Am I right? Am I right? Go ahead, get signed up on PrizePicks today. Shout out to everybody joining me this morning. I see a lot of lively individuals in our live chat. Let's run through and say what's up to everybody, and then we'll get into today's show. We got a big NBA slate to talk about, lots of games, lots of teams taking the floor tonight, which means there's going to be a lot of props for us to discuss. And of course, I'll be doing my best to take all of your questions and hopefully providing good answers. So let's run through the chat. We got D'Angelo in the building. He says, good morning to everyone except James Harden. Yes, James Harden decided to take a vacation last night, decided to take the night off against the Los Angeles Clippers. We kind of talked about that yesterday. We talked about James Harden potentially running into a tough matchup against Paul George. If Paul George were to be active, he was active. But we did look back and we saw that James Harden had a very good game against the Clippers in the past. The last time that they played, which was earlier this season, James Harden had a monster game, right? So the expectations were set pretty darn high that James Harden was going to play well last night. Well, he didn't, okay? That's why you got to kind of keep your expectations low in this sports betting, daily fantasy sports game that we play. Keep your expectations low. You just have to. Then your heart won't be broken when James Harden decides to kick his feet up instead of shoot the basketball. Otherwise, the other tacos from yesterday's Taco Tuesday went pretty well, I would say. We had, what's his name? Connor McDavid? Not Connor McGregor. McDavid ended up going over his shots on goal. We talked about that briefly on yesterday's show. So shout out to Connor McDavid making good on yesterday's taco. And then we also had the Fred VanVleet taco, which cashed in the first quarter, gang. That's right, Fred VanVleet was absolutely hot last night. I don't know if you guys watched that Toronto-Milwaukee game, but it was a very good game. Very good game, unless you're Pascal Siakam. Then you can join James Harden in the short bus. We'll call it the short bus because we don't like Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam had a prime matchup. No Giannis Antetokounmpo. We thought Pascal Siakam was going to take us to the promised land. I took Pascal Siakam's first half PRA because it had a much higher hit rate than his full game PRA. Well, guess what? Pascal Siakam ended with 18. He needed 19. So we lost by the freaking hook. So Pascal Siakam, you're not my favorite person this morning. You and James Harden, kick rocks. Anyway, shout out to Roy for being here. Todd says that he also was not a big fan of James Harden. James Harden scoring left and right, but when we need 17 points from him, he doesn't show up. That's right. That's the way it goes, my friend. That's sports betting in a nutshell right there for you. Dante, good afternoon to you. Let's make some cash today. Love the energy. There's going to be a lot of different ways for us to go today. A lot of different ways for us to potentially get to the green, get to the cash. So we'll explore those options here in just a moment. Everyday Fantasy says, what it do, fam? Nicholas Claxton with 5 steals plus blocks. We call those stocks where I'm from. We call those stocks. His line was set at 3.5 stocks. My man, Everyday Fantasy, I believe, left a super chat on yesterday's show talking about Nicholas Claxton and those 3.5 steals and blocks. And guess what? Nicholas Claxton did it again against the San Antonio Spurs. Ended up with 5 steals plus blocks. Shout out to Everyday Fantasy. You know him as Don P if you're in our Discord and you're a part of our Patreon group. Don P is always coming through with the goods. So shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat yesterday. Thank you for putting some people on Nicholas Claxton, aka the human fly swatter. 3.5 steals and blocks ended up coming through big. Shout out to Everyday Fantasy. Dejan King says he's like some Jalen Williams, blocks plus steals, or possibly fantasy score. Well, listen, my friend, we'll take a look at that. Hold your questions. Just a few minutes, we'll get into today's slate, and then we'll start taking some of your Q&A, your questions, and I'll give you the answers. Kadeem's in the building. Says, what it do? Hashtag let's eat. Love the energy. Loves the positivity there, Mr. Kadeem. Ronald Pierce says, of course, the Joker decided he wanted to have a triple-double last night. Well, listen, he could have had a triple-double. He could have had 10 rebounds and 10 assists, and we would have been just fine. But he decided to be a little extra last night. They even bumped his line up to 21.5 rebounds plus assists at one point. And guess what? He cleared that line too. My man finished with 22 rebounds and assists. So unfortunately, yeah, he broke that streak that he had been on. It had been almost 5 years against Yusuf Nurkic and the Portland Trail Blazers, almost 5 years ago now, that he had hit 21 or more rebounds and assists. I guess even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, as they say. Shout out to Nikola Jokic. Having a great season, MVP caliber season. He might win the MVP again. My God, this guy is, he's something else. Jordan J, that's a lot of J's, 12 says he's liking some Wendell Green Jr. points, college basketball. Guys, I don't know about college basketball, but maybe that's a good play. Maybe some of you who follow the game of college basketball can weigh in, chime in on that Wendell Green Jr. points. I'm guessing he's saying take the over. He didn't specify more or less, over or under. I'm assuming he's probably like me and likes to play some overs. So shout out to J Jordan for leaving that one. Anthony Diaz, good morning to you. Let's cash today. T-Bone's in the building. Yo, T-Bone, what's good, boss? Hayes, what's good with you? We got Rockstar. Miles Turner, 20 points, possibly. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. Bearded Gator, good morning to you. Sebastian's in the building. What's up? Need a come up today after Harden folded on me. Yeah, he folded like a cheap lawn chair. Shout out to James Harden. You are not anyone's favorite player today. Joey Jones, what's happening? Love to see it. Dante, what's up to you? He's liking some Sabonis first half points. Not a bad look. Accolade, aka Lord Frieza. Lord Frieza is in the building. Tony Ruiz, shout out to you. Carson, Pascal sold us, but we'll get it back today. I love that. We got to bounce back. Got to be resilient. Jimmy says, bro, let's go. You back. Love to see you healthy. I'm getting there. I don't feel like I'm all the way there. As you can tell, I'm a little stuffy. but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate your love and you putting out that positive energy. Milwaukee in the building. What a do? What a do. Shout out to Milwaukee. Erickson, what's up, my guy? Jew, happy hump day to you. Kush Player Prop says good morning, by the way. Good morning to you. Salute to the Kush Master. OG Kush. We got two Kushes in here. We got OG Kush and we got the Kush Player Props. All right. Tyrone, what's up, brother? Me and you were both on that Grayson Allen full game PRA. I love it when great minds think alike. Romel, shout out to you. Nigel, shout out to you as well. Dave Gutierrez, Alperin Shingun, first half PRA, loves the matchup. All right, let's get into it. But first and foremost, before we get into anything about today's NBA slate, we got to go ahead and we got to pick a winner. And if you don't know, I'm going to put you on game right now. Some of you guys are always asking, where's the airdrop Prize Picks? When y'all going to send me something Prize Picks? My account's messed up. I need some funds. I need some promo credits. Listen, I'm going to put somebody on some promo credits right now. What we're going to do right now is pick somebody from yesterday's comment section to get a risk-free 2-pick power play. You get both of the picks right, you're going to get $100 added to your Prize Picks account. I'm giving away one of these every single day. It's important you watch. It's important you tune in. It's important that you participate if you want a chance to win some of these promo funds that I'm giving out, all right? So here's what you got to do. You got to be a subscriber first and foremost. Once you've subscribed, just hit that like button. It's the little thumbs up icon. You know what it is. Slap that like button. And then once this show ends, YouTube will automatically post the replay of today's broadcast. You're going to go to the comment section. You're going to comment your favorite pick, your favorite prop, your favorite play of the day down in the comment section. And then on the following show, I pick somebody from the comment section. So we're gonna go back to yesterday's show. We're going to pick somebody from the comment section for a risk-free 2-pick power play on Prize Picks. You get both picks right, you win $100. Simple as that. That's how you get qualified and entered in to win. So let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and pick us a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. We've already got 36 unique comments already loaded into our YouTube comment picker. Okay, 36 comments from yesterday's show. Shout out to everybody who left a comment. Let's go ahead and do what needs to be done. We're going to hit that start button. It is going to randomly pick somebody, and the lucky winner is Donnell Jones. Donnell, if you're watching live, congratulations to you. Maybe you're catching the replay, Donnell. I just want to let you know that you have won yourself a risk-free 2-pick power play on Prize Picks. That's right, you get both picks right, you win $100. All you got to do now to claim your prize, send me a DM at Curry the Creator on Twitter. That's one way you can reach me. If you don't follow me on Twitter, give me a follow. Appreciate you in advance. Or jump down to the description of today's video. Down there, you will find a link to our free Discord. Click that Discord link, join our Discord server, and then Donnell, you can shoot me a DM through Discord if you prefer. So you could DM me on Twitter, you could DM me on Discord. Either way, I need your Prize Picks email address so that you can claim this reward. Congratulations to DJ Donnell Jones for leaving a comment on yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to do this every single day. So once today's show ends, go to the comment section, comment your favorite prop, your favorite pick, your favorite play of the day, and make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button while you're there, and we'll pick another winner on tomorrow's show. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get warmed up with a little brain teaser, something that I like to call Larry Birdle. Larry Birdle's all about figuring out who today's mystery player is. And of course, today's thumbnail player of the day is LeBron James. I've already went ahead and plugged in LeBron as our first guest to get things started here. I will tell you this, if you look at the list of guys that they've given us in the past here, Larry Nance Jr., Jackson Hayes, Dominic Barlow, Troy Brown Jr., Jared Vanderbilt, Tari Eason, Dwight Powell, Garrett Temple, Boban, not household names, my friends, not household names. So it's going to be a challenge. But yes, I've already plugged in LeBron James in here as our first guest to get things kicked off. It is not LeBron James. In fact, this player does not play for the Los Angeles Lakers whatsoever, but he is in the Western Conference. We can confirm that. Not in the Pacific Division. So that rules out the Warriors, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Suns, and the Kings, which means we're looking for the Northwest Division, a Southwest Division. All right, this player is a forward, could be a forward/center, could be a guard/forward. Probably a guard/forward because this player is shorter than 6'9", much younger than 37 years old, and that jersey number is going to be a number that's above or higher than 6. So Who do we think it is? I mean, we could go a lot of different directions here. I'm thinking we go guard, and I'm thinking we go with like a younger guard. Somebody from the Northwest Division, Nuggets, Wolves, Blazers, Thunder, Jazz. Could be a Maverick, Rocket, Grizzly, Pelican, or Spur. There's a lot of different ways we could go here. What are we thinking? What do we think? Jalen Williams, Luka Doncic? Let's go Luka Doncic. Why not? Why not? Luka fits a lot of this criteria. We could go Luka as our guess. Wow. Wow. Good guess. Good guess. Not the right guess, but a good guess. Why is it a good guess? Well, because it gets us that much closer. We now know that this player is not a Dallas Maverick, but is in the Southwest Division. Forward/guard. Could be a forward, could be a guard. Somebody that's a hybrid style player. Luka's 6'7". This player is not 6'7", but is close. We're looking at like 6'5", 6'6" in that range. Luka's too young at 23 years old. LeBron's too old at 37. So somewhere between 23 and 37 years old, and somewhere between jersey number 6 and jersey number 77 is kind of what we're looking for. So we're looking at the Southwest Division. We know it's not a Dallas Maverick, which leads us with the Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the San Antonio Spurs. There, I'll move that up for you guys so you can see that a little bit. So we're looking for a Rocket, a Grizzly, a Pelican, or a Spur. They like to throw Pelicans at us. We've had Larry Nance Jr., Jackson Hayes. They like to throw Spurs at us. Dominic Barlow, some of these other guys, Garrett Temple, another Pelican, Dwight Powell, another. They love the Southwest Division is what I'm kind of picking up here. We got a couple of Rockets, couple of Pelicans, some Spurs in there. A lot of different Southwest Division players. Who do we think that this is, though? Luka's a little too tall. He's a little too young, and his jersey number's way too high. Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane, does he fit the bill? Let's go with Desmond Bane. I don't hate that. Desmond Bane is in the right division at least. Let's go with Desmond Bane. Whew. Whew. Great guess, my friend. Whoever said Desmond Bane, great guess. We are really close. We are hot on the trail here. We got Desmond Bane. He's a Memphis Grizzly, but he's not the right Memphis Grizzly. All right, we're on the right team now, though. We're looking for a guard, somebody who's between 6'5" and 6'7", which means 6'6". We're looking for somebody who's 6'6". Desmond Bane's a little bit too young at 24. We're looking for somebody who's 25 or 26. Jersey number 22 gets us really close. 22 is really close. Let's go ahead and reveal the silhouette. Oh, well, I think that kind of just gave it away. I think I know exactly who this is. Yes, that's right. Javon knows. Javon knows. Patrick, I think you're on the right wave too. I think this is the man. Mr. Dillon Brooks is going to be my guess for the win. Bang. Mike Breen. If Mike Breen was here, he would say bang. Yes, it is Dillon Brooks. Shout out to everybody who guessed Dillon Brooks. He is our mystery player. What do you call that hairstyle for those of you watching at home, wherever you're watching from? Are those called box braids? Do we call those box braids? I think we call those box braids. Let me know, man. I'm white. I need help. A lot of people rocking that hairdo, but this is Dillon Brooks, 1000% Dillon Brooks, guard/forward, 6'6", 26 years old, rocking jersey number 24. So shout out to everybody who guessed Dillon Brooks. You were right. You were on the money. Speaking of being on the money, we got to get to talking about today's NBA slate. Let me go ahead and refresh here. So we got the latest news and all the lineup information preloaded in there. Guys, we're starting today's NBA slate off with a banger. A fun game. Pending everybody plays, that I hope plays. Atlanta at Dallas. We've got draft classmates Trae Young versus Luka Doncic here. This game has a pretty big total, 233.5 points with just a 2-point spread. Everybody appears to be healthy for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, there's some trade rumors swirling that the Atlanta Hawks might be moving John Collins here. Heard a trade this morning that John Collins might be shipped out to Utah, and that Utah would ship Malik Beasley to Cleveland, and Cleveland would send Karis LeVert to the Atlanta Hawks. What do you guys think about that? Does swapping John Collins for Karis LeVert make sense if you're the Atlanta Hawks? Why would you do that? I don't know. Seems like the Hawks are already kind of guard heavy. Adding another guy like Karis LeVert to a team with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Hunter. You've got Bogdanovich coming off the bench. You've got Griffin. I mean, they got a lot of guards on this team, but they apparently don't have enough guards. They're looking at maybe getting Karis LeVert and sending John Collins on his way. If John Collins leaves, I mean, that kind of leaves them thin in the front court, I would say. But anyway, Dallas looks like they're going to have Luka Doncic, Dorian Finney-Smith making his return. He is a green light, which means he should be good to go. Josh Green, also a green light, no pun intended, but hey, it worked out. Tim Hardaway Jr. is out tonight. No Maxi Kleber tonight, and no Wright tonight. So big total on this one, 233.5 with a 2-point spread. It's going to be fun to see Luka Doncic and Trae Young. Like I said, once upon a time, they were drafted in the same draft class. Love seeing these guys go head-to-head. 7:30 also brings us the Washington Wizards versus the New York Knicks. We're still waiting on news about Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is a game-time decision at this moment, meaning we're not sure if he's in or out. Bradley Beal's missed a handful of games here recently. If he's out, I mean, look for Monty Morris, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis to kind of carry the load for the Washington Wizards. You'd probably see somebody like Corey Kispert maybe join the starting lineup. Corey Kispert, not a bad little shooter. So the New York Knicks on the other side of this game here, completely healthy. No injury news for us to worry about. One piece of rumored trade news, I guess you could say, as the trade deadline approaches, Derrick Rose might be on his way out. The New York Knicks might be open to sending D Rose somewhere. Where would you like to see Derrick Rose go as he kind of enters those golden years, right? He's probably only got a handful of years left in his career. Where would you like to see him go? Back to Chicago? That'd be kind of cool. Or a reunion with the Chicago Bulls wouldn't be bad. And then on the other side, it sounds like Kyle Kuzma might want out of Washington as well. So this trade deadline is going to be very interesting. But today, 223 points with a 6-point spread. We got Miami at New Orleans. 8 p.m. tip-off. This one could be potentially fun. A very low-scoring game here. Just 219.5 points between these two teams. 3-point spread. A 3-point spread. Keep an eye on Kyle Lowry. He's missed a couple of games. He's a game-time decision. Status is truly up in the air. We don't know if Big Booty Lowry is going to play or not, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. Jovic is out. Duncan Robinson is out, and Homer Yurtseven is out as well. So those are your inactives for the Miami Heat. They've had just a carousel of injuries and players in and out of the lineup each and every night. So it's been a team that you really have to stay on top of the news with. New Orleans Pelicans. Herbert Jones, game time decision. Still no Brandon Ingram. Still no Zion Williamson. So it's going to be the CJ McCollum show with help with Jonas Valanciunas, help from Najee Marshall, who's been playing some very good basketball. Trey Murphy has shined from time to time. Alvarado coming off the bench. He's been playing some pretty good basketball as well. So kind of one of the more low-scoring games. Let's move on from that one. Charlotte and Houston tips off at 8 p.m. Another guy whose name is being dangled in trade rumors, Terry Rozier of the Charlotte Hornets. So poor Terry Rozier might be on the move yet again. Gordon Hayward, game time decision. He is more doubtful than probable. Martin, also doubtful, even though he's a game time decision. Doesn't look like he's going to play. And Kelly Oubre continues to miss time. He's not going to be in the starting lineup tonight for the Charlotte Hornets. He's not going to be taking the floor, period. Point blank. Houston Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr., keep an eye on him. He is a game time decision. We saw the likes of Eric Gordon, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün. These guys have been stepping up in absence of Kevin Porter Jr. Şengün's been playing some fantastic basketball. Gets one of the best matchups you can ask for if you're a big man against this Charlotte Hornets front court of Mason Plumlee and PJ Washington. I'm sure Alperen Şengün is going to be a very popular play and option today, whether that be points, whether that be rebounds, whether that be points, rebounds, and assists. There's a lot of different ways you could go with Şengün. But 236.5 points with a 2.5-point spread favoring the visiting team, the Charlotte Hornets. That's going to be a fun game to take some props from. LaMelo Ball also probably should be on your radar. 238.5 points in this next game between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just a 4-point spread. Another guy whose name keeps coming up in trade rumors is Miles Turner. I've heard him linked to the Clippers. Miles Turner to the Clippers. I've heard Miles Turner to the Raptors as they look to bulk up in the middle. May very well see Miles Turner on the move before it's all said and done. Nonetheless, tonight, Indiana's going to be without Daniel Tice, without Tyrese Halliburton, and without Kwame Brown. No, that's not Kwame Brown. I don't know this young man's first name, but Mr. Brown, K. Brown. All three of those guys out for the Indiana Pacers. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, game time decision, but he's more likely to sit than to play. We got Dang, he's out. Pokashevsky still out. He's been out, though, for a number of different games. 238.5, though, with a 4-point spread. Love the total. Love the spread from this one. This should be very fun. My guy, Nembhard, has been dropping dimes left and right. I don't trust him to score the basketball as far as I can throw him, but Nembhard for some assists might be a good look depending on what his line is at today. All right, Cleveland at Memphis. Big news here. Donovan Mitchell, the Spider, is out. Game time decision. He's probably not going to play. It's more doubtful than probable. Over on the flip side, Danny Green still has not taken the floor for the Memphis Grizzlies. For Cleveland, though, look for Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro to kind of carry the load in the backcourt. Of course, they just got Ricky Rubio healthy. I don't know what this means for Karis LeVert. Maybe they featured Karis LeVert a little bit. Maybe they look to get Karis LeVert a few extra minutes, kind of build up his stock a little bit before they flip him, before they trade him, get a little bit more for him. But yeah, that's the situation. Donovan Mitchell is out tonight. 228 points in this game. That's the total, 7.5-point spread. 9 o'clock, we got a tip-off between the Clippers and the Jazz. The Clippers are talking about trading John Wall. They've been interested in guys like Michael Conley Jr. Well, guess what? They're going to be facing Michael Conley Jr. tonight and the Utah Jazz. So maybe they'll get a first-hand front-row experience of what they can expect if they do land Michael Conley Jr. in a trade. Reggie Jackson, game time decision. Luke Kennard, also a game time decision. It looks like Kawhi Leonard is more likely to sit than to play tonight. Paul George already ruled out. John Wall's going to be out for a couple of weeks. He's dealing with some sort of abdominal issue, so it's going to be Terrence Mann, maybe Reggie Jackson, maybe some Luke Kennard at the point guard, shooting guard spot. Norman Powell probably going to step up and have a big role tonight. So the Clippers are going to be running sort of a skeleton crew. Man, Powell, Coffee, we haven't heard that name in a while, Batum, and Zubac. Zubac might be in a good spot going up against this Utah Jazz front court who hasn't been very good. He'll be facing off against Walker Kessler because Kelly Olynyk is out tonight. No Kelly O for the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen, keep an eye on him. His absence would obviously mean big things for the likes of Malik Beasley, Jordan Clarkson, and maybe some Michael Conley Jr. We saw Walker Kessler, by the way, absolutely ball out against Rudy Gobert, who was the guy that basically he replaced in Utah, right? Utah sent Rudy Gobert out, drafted Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler had a great game against Rudy Gobert the last time he took the floor. Anyway, 227.5 points with a 6-point spread. Not a bad total, not a bad spread. That's good. It's a game we can maybe explore some props from. Minnesota at Denver tips off at 10 p.m. Denver's on a back-to-back. Important to note that maybe fatigue plays a factor here. Nikola Jokic had himself a great game last night, a triple-double for Joker, going up against the Portland Trail Blazers, and they got the most important part, the dub. They beat the Trail Blazers. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, game time decision. Rudy Gobert, game time decision. Taurean Prince, game time decision. Jordan McLaughlin, Karl Anthony Towns, already out for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another guy whose name has been dangled in trade rumors is D'Angelo Russell. What do you guys think about D'Angelo Russell? He can't seem to latch on to a team for too long. It's a couple years and then he's on the move again, right? We've seen him bounce around from the Lakers. He's been on the Nets. He's been on the T-Wolves. I mean, he's been all over the place, D'Angelo Russell. Maybe D'Angelo Russell finds a home. They were talking about trading D'Angelo Russell for Kyle Lowry, but Minnesota said, nah, we ain't interested in Big Booty Lowry. We're going to stay with D'Angelo Russell for now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with D'Angelo Russell, but he ain't happy. Apparently he ain't happy. Anyway, for the Denver Nuggets, Gillespie, Jeff Green, and Watson all ruled out. So you're going to see Jamal Murray, who had himself a pretty decent game. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, shout out to Michael Porter Jr., had a great game. Aaron Gordon, I took his first half PRA last night. He ended up coming through clutch once again. So shout out to AG. And then, of course, you got the Joker. 237 points with an 8-point spread. Not bad. A lot of points expected to be scored. Hopefully it stays close. You could be looking at a blowout here with Denver playing great basketball. 31-13, one of the best records in the league. Last but not least, one of the games that I'm most looking forward to, because you look at the total here, 245 points between the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. Wow. I mean, that's a huge total. 245 points. By far and away, this is head and shoulders the highest total game of the night. High totals mean more possessions, faster pace of play, more opportunities to score points, grab some boards, possibly get some assists, some steals, some blocks, more of everything, right? When the total is 245 like it is. 4.5-point spread, so it's expected to stay close and competitive. We'll have to see about that. I don't have a lot of faith in the Los Angeles Lakers to make this game, keep this game competitive. But we'll see, right? We'll see. LeBron is expected to play tonight. He is our thumbnail player of the day. Anthony Davis out, Austin Reeves out, and Lonnie Walker out. For the Kings, they look to be A-OK, barring some sort of late injury report. They look healthy. So it's going to be Fox, Herter, Barnes, Keegan Murray, and my man in the middle, Domantas Sabonis. Shout out to Domantas Sabonis and the Sacramento Kings. They're having a pretty darn good season, 24-18. It's kind of fun to see the Sacramento Kings rise from the basement of the NBA to being a contender, to being a team that is to be respected and feared on a night in, night out basis. I think the Fox-Sabonis duo has been working out. All right, guys, hit me with your questions. We got a lot of different player props to talk about. We've kind of already touched on some of the matchups that you should probably have your eye on. We're going to go split screen mode here in just a minute. There we go. There we go. Hit me with your questions. Like I said, I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can in the next 30 minutes or so. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get to everybody's questions. So this is where super chats can possibly be your very, very best friend. In the live chat window, you'll see like a little $ icon. You click that $ icon. You can leave a super chat. That'll highlight your comment for me and the entire world to see. And it also guarantees that I do a deep dive on whatever your question is in that super chat. Maybe you've got a prop that you just can't decide on. Maybe there's something you want me to dig into a little bit deeper. Kind of like our guy Everyday Fantasy yesterday when it came to the Nicholas Claxton steals and blocks. He put that one in super chat. We looked at it together, and I know some of you took that prop. And of course, it ended up hitting. He ended up with 5 steals and blocks. So let's get down to business here and start talking about some player props over on PrizePicks. Guys, again, if you're not playing on PrizePicks, promo code Curry gets you that 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit all the way up to 100 smackaroos. That's right, free money being given away daily on PrizePicks. All right. Looking through some of your comments, your questions, your concerns here. Oh yeah, by the way, we have happy hour today, which means $1 minimum entries, which I think starts at, is it 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock Eastern time? I'm not sure, but happy hour, keep an eye on that. That's a good way to get some skin in the game without having to dig too deep into your pockets, meaning you could put $1 down and win up to $25 on a 6-pick flex. So take advantage of some happy hour if you haven't yet. Let's see here. We got the truck 472. He's talking about Trey Jones and James Harden yesterday. Left their games in the locker room last night. You ain't never lied, my friend. Those guys absolutely sucked it up last night. Josh says Gobert only played 5 minutes in that game. That's true. Good point. Good point. Walker Kessler dominated, but it wasn't against Rudy Gobert for very long. Naz Reid ended up probably getting the bulk of the minutes in that game. Jaden 02. Hopefully I said that right. He's talking about some Buddy Hield, but he's not wanting to take any overs on Buddy Hield. He's wanting to take the under on Buddy Hield's PRA. Let's just take a quick look here at Buddy Hield, who's at 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists today. Now you take a look at these last 5 games, you're going to be like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Actually, it's nobody, because nobody... no pun intended again. He has been a nobody in the last 5 games. 1 for his last 5, averaging just 26 PRA. Let's take a quick look here at Buddy Hield. We know the last 5 games have been pretty bad for him, but in this particular case, 5 games may not tell the full story. So that's why I like looking at a larger sample size. And by the way, I'm using props.cash, which is an app that's only $19.99 a month, to do a bit of research here. So if you're not using props.cash, you should probably consider taking a look at it, as it's a really, really fun app. Something just came across my mind. Now, I don't know. Excuse me while I go off on a tangent here. Buddy Hield college team. I just want to... Oklahoma. Huh. Yeah. Had a feeling he played in Oklahoma. Where's this game taking place? It's in Oklahoma City. So Buddy Hield's on the road against the Oklahoma City Thunder, playing in Oklahoma. I'm just saying, for those of you who buy into narratives, maybe this is a thing, maybe it's nothing. All right, Buddy Hield's been cold, but he is going to be playing in Oklahoma, where he went to college. Let's look at something real quick. Let's do something. We could do a little research here. Buddy Hield, points, rebounds, assists, logs, versus the Thunder, and we'll click away. We just want to look at the away games. In other words, these are the games that he played in OKC. Let's see if maybe he just, I don't know, balls out whenever he visits OKC. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe we don't have anything here. He's at 28.5 PRA. He has cleared this in 2 out of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 out of 9. Okay. So maybe there's not a little narrative where he gets all excited and plays better when he visits OKC. But I wanted to take a look at it, all right? That's where my mind goes sometimes. But I will say this. Look at his 3-point makes here. 3-point makes against the Thunder have been pretty good. 4, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Not very good there. 2, 4. But in his last 1, 2, 3, 4 games, he's hit 3 or more 3-point makes. I mean, so that's something. Maybe we go to the 3-point makes. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. We'll throw that out there. Let's get back on track here. Buddy Hield's PRA this season, he's at 28.5. He's 19 for 45 covering this PRA number. 42% hit rate. That's not very good. Averaging 25.5 PRA. His last 10, we've seen that average start to rise a little bit. 27.3 PRA. But in his last 5, not so good. Not so good. Just 26 PRA, not coming very close to covering 28.5. So you kind of get an idea of what Buddy Hield's been up to here. A lot more red in these game logs than green. So maybe you've got a point by taking the under. Now, we could also take a look at the splits here. Is Buddy better on the road? Is he better at home? Well, we have the ability to look into that information thanks to props.cash. Buddy Hield, 25.5 for the season. At home, 24.9. On the road, 26.2. So he does average slightly more points, rebounds, and assists when he is on the road, but it's not significantly more. His hit rates on the road this season, 10 for 21, just 48%. 48%. So that's the rundown on Buddy Hield. Not great numbers when he visits OKC, so there may not be any type of Buddy Hield making his return to Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma narrative or anything like that. But yeah, you might be onto something here, taking the under on Buddy Hield. We look at the last 5 games. A lot of these games were without Tyrese Halliburton, and Buddy Hield stayed under 28.5 PRA in those games. He's just 1 for 5. So yeah, you might be onto something here. Let's get you a projection on this particular prop, Buddy Hield's PRA. We're going to be using Action Labs and Fantasy Labs for these projections and taking a look at where he's at on these sports books. He's projected for 27.3 PRA. 28.5 is where he's at on all major sports books, but we're seeing some juice, some action, some bettors taking the over at 28.5. So they don't care that he's been in a funk, been in a slump. It looks like they're betting the over at 28.5. For me, I'll probably just leave this one alone unless some sort of value opens up. But for right now, I think I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about taking the over or the under. They're betting it over. He's projected under, but we can tell from his game logs recently that the under has been the move on Buddy Hield. So I'm just going to leave it alone. That's a fade for me. But if you feel good about taking the under again on Buddy Hield, by all means, do your thing. Do your thing. Let's see here. What else are you guys talking about? Guys, if you have questions, again, like I said, Super Chat's going to guarantee I get to your questions because I know there's going to be some questions that just slip through the cracks. I'm not going to be able to get to them all, but I'm going to do my best. Carson's liking some Domantas Sabonis first half PRA. Hard not to like Sabonis tonight. Sabonis is going up against the Los Angeles Lakers. We know that they've been running a lineup of Thomas Bryant. We've seen Wenyen Gabriel get more playing time off the bench. That's kind of been their 2-man rotation at the center position. So Domantas Sabonis is going to potentially be in a good spot tonight going up against the likes of Bryant and Gabriel. I don't think either one of those guys really pose much of a threat to Domantas Sabonis. You could see his last 5 games, he's covered 21.5 PRA in 4 out of 5. He's got a 4-game streak going at the moment. The last time he missed this prop was against, you guessed it, tonight's opponent, the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, that was the last time he missed it. I do have some further game logs that we could kind of take a look at, again, using props.cash. Shout out to props.cash. They really have built a fine product, and they're implementing and integrating new features every day and all the time. So we're going to be able to look at the first half here for the season for Domantas Sabonis. He's at 21.5. These are his first half points, rebounds, and assist logs. There's been a lot of green lately. I'll tell you that. He's really picked up the pace. At 21.5, he's 22 for 41 this season. That's a 54% hit rate. Not too shabby. Not bad whatsoever. We could take a look at the last 30 games. It gets a little bit more green when we look at that. 18 for 30, 60% hit rate, but it's really in the last like 10 games or so at 21.5 PRA where Sabonis has started to shine. 9 for his last 10. That's a 90% hit rate, averaging 24.4 points, rebounds, and assists in the first half in that 10-game span. So that's a really good average. That's a very good hit rate. Let's dig into this one just a little bit further here. How has he done against the Los Angeles Lakers this season? Holy smokes, guys. 0 for 3 against the Lakers. What is it about the Lakers that Domantas Sabonis has yet to cover his first half PRA? I don't know what it is. Whether it be Anthony Davis, whether it be Thomas Bryant, whether it be Wenyen Gabriel starting at the center spot, it doesn't seem like Domantas Sabonis has what it takes to cover his first half PRA when it comes to the Lakers. Maybe that changes tonight. Maybe he gets back on the right side of things and finally hits. Let's go back and look at last season too. 21.5 PRA his last 5 games played against this team. He has gone under. These 2 games from last season, it's worth noting, he was not with the Sacramento Kings at that point. He was still with the Indiana Pacers. This was pre-trade deadline. Domantas Sabonis 0 for 2 against the Lakers as a member of the Pacers last season. He's 0 for 3 with the Sacramento Kings this season. Maybe they've got his number. Can't really explain it, but he is 0 for 3. It is what it is. 18.2 PRA in his last 5 games. That's not going to get it done. So maybe the PRA isn't the move. Let's look at his points. Because thank you to PrizePicks, you can play first half points. You can play first half PRA. You can play first half fantasy score. Let's look at the points. Maybe that's the better route. All right. We finally got some green here. Domantas Sabonis' points at 10.5 points. He's actually done a pretty good job against the Lakers. 2 for 3 this season. He had 12 points in 2 out of the 3 games that he played them. Last season, we could go ahead and toss those out. Again, he was with a totally different team, the Indiana Pacers. So this season, 2 for 3, 12 points in 2 games versus the Lakers, 5 points in the other game, averaging 9.7. So I would guess that maybe we go with the points because he's actually been able to get the job done when it comes to scoring at least 11 or more points against the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's go back and look at the season hit rates here. At 10.5 points, he is 25 for 41. That's a 61% hit rate for the season. For the last 30 games, 19 for 30, 63%. And in his last 10 games, he is also 9 for 10 at 10.5 first half points. That's a 90% hit rate. So for me, I might just go points. And listen, if he's going to hit the PRA, more than likely he's going to have at least 11 points to get that PRA done. So for me, I would probably go points, just to answer your question. So that's the scoop on Domantas Sabonis. I don't have any sort of first half only projections, unfortunately. But yeah, he's averaging 12.4 points. So I would probably go points over PRA. But you do what you want to do, all right? Do what you want to do. I'm presenting the facts, the information. We're looking at these props together. But Domantas Sabonis for me, probably going to go first half points. What do you guys think in the chat? Those of you watching, we trust in Sabonis points or PRA for first half only? Which one do we like more? So Carson, hopefully that helps you out. Dylan is saying, how are we feeling about Timothy Butler PRA tonight? I don't like the Miami Heat. First and foremost, they're one of the most frustrating teams for me to put money on. But I'm assuming you're asking about Jimmy Butler here at 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. For me, it's going to be a wait and see because we are still waiting on Kyle Lowry's status, right? We don't know if Kyle Lowry is going to play or not. He's currently a game time decision. With a total of 219.5 points and a 3-point spread, this isn't going to be one of those games where I'm going to take too many props from. So that's just like my initial reaction is it's a low scoring. It's going to be a low and slow type of game, very slow pace, not a lot of points, not a lot of possessions, which means it's going to be a little bit more difficult for a guy like Jimmy Butler to exceed 30.5 PRA, and maybe even more difficult if Kyle Lowry is in the starting lineup tonight, which we're still waiting on news for that. So it's a wait and see for me on Jimmy Butler, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this. He's 3 for his last 5 covering this prop. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what he's been up to beyond the last 5 games. I'll go find Jimmy Butler using props.cash. We want to look at the full game logs for the season and make sure we are looking at the PRA, which is your points, your rebounds, and your assists. He's 22 for 31 at this number. So that's a good hit rate. 71% is definitely intriguing, enticing, and it's got my attention. 33.6 PRA is his average for the season, 32.2 in his last 10, and 34.4 in his last 5. Jimmy Butler has been balling. He's been balling. How's he going to do with Kyle Lowry in there? It's anybody's guess. He has not faced the New Orleans Pelicans yet this season. He did face them twice last season, dropping 51 PRA to go along with a 40 PRA number. So he covered this 30.5 very easily, 51 and 40. Again, the Miami Heat are just one of those teams, man. I just can never seem to get them right. Can't get them right for the life of me. Take a look at some of the splits information here. Jimmy Butler averaging 35.1 PRA when he plays at home. That's good for a 71% hit rate. Looking at his away splits, 31.9. So he does average more points, rebounds, and assists when he plays at home versus when he's on the road. He is on the road tonight, but still maintains a nice 71% hit rate. He's actually covered this in his last 9 out of 10. His last 9 games on the road out of 10, he's covered this. So 90% hit rate in his last 10 road games. So that's pretty impressive. All right, I got to tip my hat to Jimmy Butler, but I'm going to still wait. I'm going to wait for the Kyle Lowry news, and then we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, let's get you a projection on this one. You asked, I'm here to deliver. He is projected for 31 PRA, which is just enough. Just enough to get him over 30.5. And then at 30.5, he's a slight betting favorite to go over on a site like DraftKings, on a site like BetMGM. But at 31.5 on FanDuel, slight betting favorite to go under. So he's projected to go over. He's been hitting this, crushing this, in fact, in his last 20-ish games. 70+% hit rate for the season. Very good hit rates. Slight betting favorite to go over at 30.5. So, hey, more power to you. I kind of like that. But I'm going to wait and see if Lowry is in or Lowry is out. One thing that you could do here to kind of take a look at something. Let's do it. Jimmy Butler, points, rebounds, and assists with Kyle Lowry logs this season. All right. Kind of give you an idea how many times Jimmy Butler has cleared 30.5 when Kyle Lowry is also out on the floor this season. So he's hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's not bad. 17 out of 23. I think we could rock with it. We could give it a shot, give it a chance. I probably won't go too heavy on it, but if Kyle Lowry ends up playing, it doesn't seem to impact Jimmy Butler's performances a whole lot. 17 for 23 with Kyle Big Booty Lowry in the lineup. So there you go. Once again, thanks for everybody who's joining me. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you go ahead and get subscribed and run those likes up. You're going to want to subscribe and hit the like button so that you can get entered in to win one of these risk-free 2-pick power plays that I'm slanging out like dope every single day. Every time we go live, basically, I'm giving away your opportunities to get yourself some free cash, some free promo cash on PrizePicks. What other questions do you guys have? We talked about some Sabonis PRA first half versus his points. I'm liking the points a little bit more. My guy Roy is mentioning John Collins for more than 21.5 PRA. We have not really talked any John Collins or Hawks or Mavericks for that matter. John Collins is sitting at 22.5 PRA on PrizePicks. So we're paying a little bit more on the old PrizePicks app today. Collins is now 1 for his last 5 when it comes to his PRA. And, that's not good. That's not very good. So 1 for his last 5, that's just a 20% hit rate. Let's take a look here. Atlanta versus Dallas. We know Dallas is probably going to be starting Christian Wood at center. That's been working out for them. So Christian Wood's been blocking a lot of shots too. We talked about Nicholas Claxton blocking shots. Christian Wood, also a great shot blocker in his own right. But John Collins, yeah, we're paying a little bit of a higher price here at 22.5 PRA. He's only hit this in 16 out of 36 appearances this season, which leads us to a 44% hit rate. Not a good hit rate. His last 5 games hasn't really gone great for him either. We talked about that. He is 1 for his last 5. If you're getting him at 21.5, maybe you take a shot on the over at 21.5. But John Collins, we're getting him at 22.5 for us PrizePicks players out there. So for me, I don't like paying more, obviously. And in this case, we are. But let's dig into some more Collins information here. Let's get you a projection, kind of see where the sports books stand on John Collins. Yeah, he's projected for 22.1 PRA. According to the action projection tool, which is less than 22.5, closer to 22 than 23, and he's at 21.5 on a couple of these reputable sports books like DraftKings and BetMGM. That's a point lower than where he's at on PrizePicks. He's only a slight betting favorite at 21.5. For me, I'd probably be thinking about the under at 22.5. At this juncture, things can change throughout the day. We know these lines are always moving. The juice and the betting and the action's always coming in on the overs and the unders. So you got to, be agile when it comes to betting. But at this point right now, I'd probably say I would take the under on John Collins, 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He just hasn't been hitting very well. So goes under more than he does go over, and he's only hit this in 1 out of his last 5. He's not projecting well. He's a whole point lower on these sports books, so I'm not feeling too confident on John Collins right now. But again, things can change throughout the day. What other questions do we have here, my friends? I see a lot of different ones being posted. Like I said, apologies in advance if I don't get to everybody's question. I know you guys have a lot of them. There's only one of me and very many of you. Lots of you and only one of me. So that's where those super chats really kind of come into play. Let's see. It looks like Kush Player Props is liking the PRA when it comes to Sabonis. Okay. Anthony Diaz is liking the points. Tyrone saying, hey, there's always a third option too. They got more, they got less. And then there's that third option that we don't talk about enough, which is fade. You could fade it too. You could fade Sabonis if you're not feeling great about it. Let's see here. Dave is saying he's liking Sabonis for the first half points. Shout out to Dave. He's liking the breakdown. Appreciate that, Dave. Gabriel has been getting more tick than Bryant lately. Also, you've noticed that too, huh, Alex? I've noticed Thomas Bryant is losing some ground to Wenyen Gabriel. It seems like Coach Ham is trusting Wenyen Gabriel more than he's trusting Thomas Bryant lately. When it comes down to those crunch time minutes, he turns to Gabriel. I think Gabriel gives him a little bit more offensively, and maybe they need that or like that. Gabriel's got the ability to kind of hit some outside shots. He's got a decent little three-point stroke on him. He can finish around the basket pretty well, and Thomas Bryant might just be a little bit of a liability. But yeah, I've noticed that too. So it's kind of hard for me to love anything Thomas Bryant related. I'm going to kind of back off, take my foot off the gas when it comes to TB, Big Thomas Bryant. Let's see here. Going through the rest of what you guys are discussing. SGA points. Dominique Frazier, appreciate that one. We have not talked any Gilgeous-Alexander, but I think he could be in a good spot tonight. He's at 29.5 points. We've kind of seen him start to cool a little bit, start to simmer down, right? He's simmered down after coming out of the gates hot. SGA's points, 29.5. He's going up against an Indiana backcourt that will be without Tyrese Halliburton. So maybe SGA is in a great situation tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We can go to the points category using props.cash. Again, 25% off your first month of props.cash when you use code Curry. I've left a link for props.cash down in the description below. Let's go find Mr. SGA here. We click on his name and we take a look at what he's done. As you can see, guys, kind of like the first half of the season, a lot more green bars than this back half of the season. If we could split the game logs right down the middle here, you would notice a pretty stark contrast. For whatever reason, SGA's kind of taken a back seat some of these games. I mean, we've seen guys like Josh Giddey step up here recently. I've taken some unders on Giddey and regretted them. Painful. It's been painful. Lou Dort once in a while will step up and have himself a big game, but we're not seeing quite as many of those 30 bombs from SGA as we did in the first half of the season. But he's 25 for 40, 63% hit rate. He's still maintaining a 30.7 point per game average. It's really been in his last 15 games or so where you're starting to see more of these red bars creep in, meaning he isn't covering the 29.5 number like he was earlier in the season. Now we could also take a look at the splits here, because some of these players are very split heavy, meaning they'll score a lot more points at home than they will on the road, or vice versa. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. He's going to be at home tonight hosting Buddy Hield and the Indiana Pacers. At home, does a very good job. 12 for 18, 67%, averaging 30.6 points per game playing at home. So that's not too shabby. I like 67%. On the road, 30.7. So he's not a major splits guy. He's not a guy who is averaging a whole lot more points on the road versus at home, or vice versa. At home, 30.6. On the road, 30.7. So like I said, just a 0.1 difference between his averages at home and on the road. But yeah, he has been hitting pretty well at home for the most part this season. 12 for 18 is not bad. 67% hit rate. He has covered in his last two games at home. Maybe another way to look is possibly like his points plus assists. If we think that he's kind of chilled out a little bit when it comes to scoring, maybe you look at his points plus assists. That's got a 65% hit rate this season versus just his points at 63%. So slightly higher hit rate, right? And then we could take a look at home. He's averaging 36.4 points plus assists. That's good for a 67% hit rate. On the road, just 35.9 points plus assists. So maybe you go that route. Maybe you can go there. You can also look at 2 days rest. How does he perform when he gets 2 days of rest? Well, he's 4 for 6, 67% coming off of 2 days of rest. So that's a 67% hit rate on the points. He is hitting slightly higher on points plus assists coming off of 2 days of rest. 5 for 6. That's an 83% hit rate. So my guy SGA, he likes his rest. He's 34.5 points plus assists today. So maybe you consider going P plus A versus just the P, if you know what I'm saying. Taking a look at last season, he played the Indiana Pacers twice. He had 13 and 41 points plus assists in those two games. So 1 for 2, had a boom of a game with 41, had a bust of a game with just 13. So that was last season. But let's go ahead and get you a projection on some SGA props here. We're going to start with the points plus assists. I have him projected for 36.9 points plus assists, my friends. That is a great projection. 34.5 on some of these sports books like DraftKings and BetMGM. That's a minus 120, minus 125 betting favorite to go over. And guys, he's also at 35.5 points plus assists on a book like FanDuel. FanDuel line makers think that he's going to end up with 35 to 36 points plus assists tonight. All right, and he's a slight betting favorite at 35.5. So for me, I like that. I like the SGA points plus assists. What about just the points? Well, that's looking pretty snazzy too. He's a betting favorite at minus 135 on DraftKings to go over 29.5 points. He is a minus 120 betting favorite on BetMGM to go over 29.5 points. And he's even as high as 30.5 on FanDuel. But at 30.5 points, he's being bet under. So for me, I'd probably favor the points plus assists, slightly higher hit rate on 2 days rest, slightly higher hit rate overall. And, I think that would probably be the way that I would go. I'd go points plus assists more on SGA. So that's the way the cookie crumbles on him. Anyway, what else do we got here, my friends? Dave is saying that Bryant twisted his ankle pretty bad the other night, which is why you will see a lot of Gabriel. Good point. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Dave. Tyrone says Christian Wood fantasy score, PRA, both looks good. Well, we talked about how Christian Wood's been swatting some shots. He's been shot blocking lately. So Christian Wood's fantasy score would benefit probably the most from that. Of course, they're not going to give us any shot blocks for block shots for Christian Wood. Doesn't look like they're showing Christian Wood any block love here. So we would have to go fantasy score on Christian Wood. But yeah, that may not be a bad route going up against the Atlanta Hawks. He's at 38.5 fantasy score. We could take a look at a bigger sample size of how he's been doing in recent games. Christian Wood FanDuel points logs this season. Bang. Let's take a look at a larger sample of games from Christian Wood. He's at 38.5 fantasy score. He's had 45.2, 66.8, 45.2, and 41.7. So 4 out of his last 5, it lines up with what we see here on PrizePicks. If we go back a little bit further, he missed in this game, which is 29.9. We go back before that, 52.4, big game there. 38.4, ouch, you would have lost by the hook. 38.4, he's at 38.5 today. 40.7, 40.8, 66.1. So his last like 10 games or so, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of his last 9, 10, 11. 8 out of his last 11's not too shabby. But I will bring this to your attention. The Dallas Mavericks are going to be a little bit healthier. Well, maybe. So they're kind of swapping Tim Hardaway Jr. out for Dorian Finney-Smith. THJ is out tonight. DFS is going to be back tonight. So it looks like it's going to be Wood, Finney-Smith, Bullock, Dinwiddie, and Doncic in the starting lineup. He's going to be matched up, Christian Wood, with Okongwu. It seems like Clint Capella is going to be coming off the bench. He's probably still working himself back into game condition, but Christian Wood going up against Okongwu, which is going to be a difficult matchup because we know Christian Wood can play the perimeter, right? He can hit shots from the outside. So that's going to be a good thing, possibly, for Christian Wood. Let me take a look here at the last 7 games or so. We can go look at the center position. How many fantasy points are the Atlanta Hawks giving up to opposing centers in the last 7 games? Well, it looks pretty good here. They're giving up 61.7 fantasy points per game to centers in their last 3 games. They are not defending the center position very well. That's a whole hell of a lot of fantasy points. Okay, so Christian Wood is definitely in a plus matchup with the way that the Atlanta Hawks have been playing against opposing bigs in recent games. So looking very good here. Last but not least, let's cap this one off here. Get you a Christian Wood projection on the fantasy score. I got Christian Wood projected for 41.19 fantasy points. He's got a ceiling of 53.4, meaning anywhere in 50 plus fantasy points. Don't be surprised if he can knock it out of the park and get up there around 50 fantasy points tonight. But Christian Wood is seemingly in a very good spot. 41.19 projected fantasy points, going up against a defense, like I said, giving up the 3rd most fantasy points per game in their last 7 games. Over 3 blocks per game, which is something that I'd mentioned Christian Wood has excelled at recently. So if Christian Wood goes over 38.5 fantasy score, I wouldn't be surprised. So far, I'm liking these 2 right here, though. I might put those in an entry. We might build something together here. What else we got, gang? I don't think we've gotten any super chats yet today. No super chats. Nothing for me to address in the super chat world, so that's okay. Going through the rest of your questions here. Andrew Barton is liking some DeJounte Murray rebounds and assists. That could be an interesting look going up against Dallas. We have not talked any DeJounte Murray yet today. His rebounds and assists are sitting at 10.5 rebounds and assists. I'm just going to quickly go and get you a projection on this one here. We'll fly through these. DeJounte Murray is at 10.5 rebounds and assists on all sports books, most sports books anyway. And he is a betting favorite at -132. Go over at 10.5 rebounds and assists. That's good. It's pretty good juice on the over. And then 11.6 is my projection, provided by Action Labs. 11.6 rebounds plus assists. That's 1.1 more than his line today at 10.5. So you could possibly look DeJounte Murray's way here for rebounds plus assists based on what we're seeing on the sports books, based on what we're seeing on the projections, and then just quickly taking a look at his game logs here recently. He's hit in his last 3 games. We're just going to do a snapshot of his last 10. 6 for his last 10. So not too shabby for DeJounte Murray. And Dallas giving up 22nd most rebounds, 10th assists, and, maybe it works out for you. But there you go. DeJounte Murray. 24 for 39. 62% hit rate on 10.5 rebounds and assists. I'm not taking him, but there's a quick look at him. We talked about some John Collins, Omar. I'm not particularly interested in John Collins, not on PrizePicks anyway. He's at 22.5. If you're getting him at 21.5 somewhere, by all means, knock yourself out. But I'm not interested in him so much on PrizePicks, just being that we are having to pay a little bit more. But John Collins, points, rebounds, and assists versus the Mavericks, from what I've been told by my friend Roy here, has been a good one in the past. So let's just pull up some game logs. John Collins, PRA versus Mavericks. There you go. You kind of get an idea of what John Collins has done against the Dallas Mavericks. 41, 28, 42, 48, 54, 37, 38. All right, but none of these games were with DeJounte Murray. So these were pre-Murray. So I wouldn't get too caught up in what he's done against Dallas in the past. This is a different Atlanta Hawks team. John Collins has not been showing great form recently in covering 22.5 PRA. But yes, this is sexy. I'll admit, big bars. Big bars are sexy. There's a lot of big bars here in John Collins' game log. So if you want to take a shot, take a shot. I wouldn't go too heavy on it though, gang. Especially if you're on PrizePicks where he's at 22.5 PRA. I'm kind of cooling my jets on that one. Yeah, John Collins is rumored to be on the trading block. Does that make him play harder, or does that make him say, F it, I'm on my way out? I ain't playing hard. I don't know. You never know what a guy's mental is when his name is being dangled out there in trade rumors. What else? Jody's mentioned some Porzingis points versus the Knicks. Possibly. Maybe. Let's take a look at the Zinger. 20.5 points seems pretty low. Why is it so low? I don't know. We're going to look at it, though. Kristaps Porzingis at 20.5 points. He just dropped 21 points on the Knicks a couple games ago, so maybe they're kind of basing it off of that. Getting a bigger sample of games here for you, using Props.cash to do so. I know we got Bradley Beal news. He's kind of pending, right? So for me, I'm not clicking anything Washington related until Bradley Beal is truly in or out. But we got Kristaps Porzingis here at 20.5 points. If Bradley Beal is out, we can take Bradley Beal off the floor. I think I like this a little bit more than I would if Bradley Beal was in. The last 10 games that Porzingis has played without Beal, he's gone over in 7 for 10, including that 21-point game against the New York Knicks. So not too bad. But again, let's wait on the Bradley Beal news, because I don't want to get too excited and click something and then Bradley Beal ends up playing, and then that might impact Porzingis. And you got a whole situation here. But if you look at Porzingis in his last like 30 games or so, dude's been killing it. 21 for 30, 70% hit rate at 20.5 points. So Porzingis could have one of those revenge type games tonight going up against the New York Knicks in New York. It could happen, right? The last game that he played against New York, we talked about 21 points. Last season, he played them, had 18 points. I believe he was with Washington for that game already. Yeah, that's March 18th. That was past the trade deadline. So did not fare so well the last time that he visited New York and played in MSG. But yeah, Kristaps Porzingis could be an option for you. But again, I would just say, pump the brakes. Let's wait. Let's see if Bradley Beal's in or out tonight. But Porzingis, I got a projection at this moment, 20.6 points, slightly more than 20.5. He's a minus 128 betting favorite to go over on FanDuel, but a minus 120 betting favorite to go under on BetMGM. So you're seeing some mixed results, some mixed signals. So for right now, I got to label this guy, Kristaps Porzingis, as a fade. A fade, meaning I'm not touching it. Yeah, Porzingis has definitely been good. He's definitely been good. Yash, I agree. It's low because Bradley Beal is back, but I don't know that Bradley Beal is back, like officially back. Let me look. Let's see what the latest and greatest news is here for Bradley Beal. He's questionable for Wednesday's game. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. He's missed 5 consecutive contests in 8 of Washington's past 9 games due to a hammy. He's been reported to be practicing as of Sunday, so it appears he is on track to return soon. So yes, maybe these lines makers, maybe these sports books know that Bradley Beal, maybe they got the inside scoop on Beal. Maybe they know that he's going to be back soon. So that could impact things. Maybe we don't like Porzingis quite as much. All right, few more minutes. I'm going to take like maybe 1 or 2 more of your submissions here. I see a lot of people have left a lot of comments. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to get to everything, guys. I'm just not going to be able to get to it all. That's where like super chats really kind of help boost you above, somebody else who has a question. That's a guarantee, a lock, so to speak, that I'll be able to get to your questions, but I can't get to everybody in the time permitted. But Alperen Sengun, we talked about him. He's been very good lately. Very good. He's going up against the Charlotte Hornets today. We know that the Charlotte Hornets, not so great when it comes to defending the center position for the most part. I will say this. Charlotte has kind of, surprised at times. Every once in a while, they can kind of show a little bit of backbone, we'll say. Over the last 7 games, the Charlotte Hornets are giving up about 56.6 fantasy points. I kind of look at fantasy points as like a good like litmus test, how a team's been performing overall against a certain position. So they've been giving up about 56.6 in the last 7 games. We compare that to their season numbers, and they've actually brought that number down. So they were giving up over 60.1 for the season. But in the last 7 games, they're down to about 56. So they're giving up fewer fantasy points. So they've kind of stepped their game up defensively. Now, I'm not saying that they're, world beaters, that they're the greatest defensive team when it comes to guarding opposing centers. Come on. No, they're still the Hornets. It's still Mason Plumlee, right? They're giving up about 26.1 points per game, 14.8 rebounds per game, close to 4 assists per game to opposing center. So Sengun's going to be in a pretty decent spot today. Let's just quickly go through some of these Senguner props and take a look and see which ones have been hitting at a high clip and which ones have not. We're going to use props.cash to kind of just skim through these real quick. So he's at 16.5 points. Of course, his line has climbed in recent days. He was at 14.5 a couple games ago. At 16.5, though, just 14 for 40 this season. That's a 35% hit rate. He's had some decent games here in his last 10. 20 points against Utah, 18 against Minnesota, 33 big ones against the Lakers. Now, if Sengun can get 33 against LA, holla if you hear me on Domantas Sabonis, right? If Sengun could get 33 on LA, Domantas Sabonis can't? Come on. Sign me up for some Domantas Sabonis points. Anyway, so yeah, they've definitely increased Sengun's line here. He is just 14 for 40 at 16.5 points. What about his rebounds? His rebounds are sitting at 10.5, 28% hit rate. Man, it feels like we're we're paying a premium here for Şengün. Like we're buying at the top of the market at this point because all of his lines have been inflated so heavily. Now I get it. It is the Charlotte Hornets. It should be a favorable matchup for him, but man, we are paying a lofty price on a lot of these. He's 11 for 40, 10.5 rebounds, just 11 for 40, 28% this season. Taking a look at some of these other assists, or other stats rather, his assists have been very good here. So if you're going to play him, maybe you go with like a combination of points plus assists, right? We've seen him hit his assist props here at 5 assists or better in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of his last 8 games, he's had at least 5 dimes. All right, he's at 5 assists today. He's hit 5 or more in 6 out of his last 8. So that could be not a bad look if you want to go with Şengün. PRA, let's take a look at that. Yeah, not great, man. It's a big number, 32.5, a number that he's only hit 8 times out of 40 games. That's a 20% hit rate. So again, it just seems like we're paying a very high price here for Şengün. Points and assists, 21.5. Guys, he's hit this in just 10 out of 40. I'm not saying he can't do it because the matchup is very favorable for him. It just seems like we're having to pay a very high price here for Şengün. 7 for 40 when it comes to rebounds and assists at 15.5. Look, he could come out there and have a monster game. It's just one of those situations where we've seen these lines really start to elevate for Şengün. And that don't make me feel too good. Let's take a look at some projections on this guy and see what we got here. He's at 16.5 points on PrizePicks, 16.5 on DraftKings and BetMGM. They're betting the over at 16.5. Even on FanDuel at 17.5 points, they are betting the over at minus 125 odds. So the fact that bettors feel so confident in Şengün that he's going to go for over 17.5 should make you feel pretty good about taking a shot here at just 16.5. We're getting a point of value or a discount compared to a book like FanDuel, right? We're paying less, so that's good. So maybe you take a shot on his points. Outside of the points, what else do we have here? We talked about his rebounds at 10.5. Big betting favorite, minus 135, minus 140 to go under 10.5 rebounds. So PrizePicks has bumped him down to 10. Don't love that. Could tie, could push though. Projection of 9.6. You guys are asking about Şengün's assists. 5 assists is where he is set at. Huge juice on the over at 4.5, minus 155, minus 160 on some of these sports books. So PrizePicks did what they should do and bumped him up from 4.5 to an even Steven 5 here. All right. What about his PRA? That's points, rebounds, and assists. He's at 32.5 on PrizePicks. We're seeing him at 32.5 on DraftKings and BetMGM, but 33.5 on FanDuel. Slight betting favor to go over at 33.5. At 32.5, though, he is being bet under on DraftKings, under on BetMGM. So I don't know what's up with that. Slight over on FanDuel, bigger under at a lower number on DraftKings and BetMGM, and he's projected to go under. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Points and rebounds, another option that you could do, different combinations available. His points and rebounds line, 26.5 on PrizePicks. He's at 28.5 on FanDuel. That's 2 points different than PrizePicks. I like that. So far, points and rebounds probably the way to go here. We looked at points and assists, didn't we? Yeah, he's 2 points different on the points and assists. 23.5 on FanDuel, 21.5 on PrizePicks, but is projected to go under at 21.2. So the points and rebounds, slightly lower projection at 26.2, but he's still in the neighborhood. And then looking at some other Şengün options here, 15.5 rebounds and assists. Yeah, the betting public not so big on that one. So it'd probably be like points and rebounds for me or points and assists for me if you wanted to go with Alper and Şengün based on what I'm seeing right now. But guys, I think with that being said, I don't have any pending super chats or anything like that. I want to say thank you to No Respect for subscribing to the channel. Michael Heinitz, thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I just want to throw a quick reminder out there. quick reminder to my man Donnell Jones. Donnell, congratulations. You have won yourself a risk-free two-pick power play to score $100 on PrizePicks. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for hitting the like button. And thank you, Donnell, for leaving that comment on yesterday's video. If you want to win like Donnell, you got to do those three things: subscribe, like, and comment on today's replay. Once this live stream ends, the replay gets posted to YouTube. You can go to the comment section. You can leave a comment, and maybe I'll pick you like we picked Donnell today. Congratulations to you, Donnell. Guys, appreciate everybody out there. Sorry I couldn't get to everybody's questions, but hopefully there's some good that came out of this. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.